Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to your weekly pick a card reading with me, Steph, your Inkblot Oracle. Cheers. If you'd like to step in for a spirit guide message meant for you today, see where it goes. There's no rules here. We're going to step in for a mystery message, but something that may come forward with meaning for you. So, whichever deck is standing up to you, we have the I Scry Scrolls made. All of these decks are made by yours truly. You can pre-order them for second print. Link is in the description box. The I Scry Scrolls, and we'll shuffle and we'll let the message come out, paired with Selenite. Pile 2 or deck 2 is Pocket Portals, little mini scry mirrors. And your stone, should it step forward, is Amethyst. And then number 3 is the Inkblot Oracle Mirror Edition. If this deck is standing out to you, we'll shuffle, see what comes out. And then we have Rose Quartz. So I love this. Whenever you come in, whichever way you choose, a Monday, Saturday, Thursday, a 1-2, a 2-1-3, I'll see you at your choice chosen. All right, numero uno. I'm going to utilize the selenite as my little crystal ball, contemplating crystal ball. Welcome to this message. Scooch up your chair, whatever feels good. How are you feeling today? I'm going to clear the space of the mind and heart. Allow all the thoughts, contemplations, messages you would like to step forward to come through. You know, we're going to utilize the shaman's palm layout. Let's dig into the caves. Cave of Ice. Cave of Winds. Oh, for heavens and hot dogs. Cave of Earth Fires. Cave of Rivers. And Cave of Earth. Thank you, thank you. All right. If you see, sense, or feel anything, or you can comment below what you've chosen. All right, so you've got a big old spirit yes here in the scroll. And yes, they are aged because I like to make everything look as old as possible. Okay, so someone's been in hermit mode. This feels like maybe you're coming out of hermit mode in whatever regard, personal, professional, corporate, creative, romantic, platonic. Maybe you've been sitting in something. It's almost like I want to say if this selenite was a candle flame, and I feel like I'm nurturing this very close to the spirit. Yes, yes is your answer if you need one. And it's like maybe you're also working with energy or like telekinesis, interestingly enough. But even let's say, may I sit in the space of the heart, of the mind? Maybe you're thinking about a new job, changing careers, pivoting. Yes, yes. But there's been this time of like nurturing this thought, this idea, this contemplation. And it feels like it's time to make an action towards it, or take that energy that you've generated and apply it into something, even if it's very, very simple. You know, you could be having your job, but you're like, I'm going to start looking, or I'm going to start sending my resume out, whatever the case is. Or if you're looking for a new car, whether all the, you know, how can I afford it, this, that, or the other, it's like, I'm just going to go start test driving. It's that kind of contemplation. So there's a lot of silence here. And I'm actually going to bring in, if I may, if you're part of the inner circle, get to, you know, bring in tidbits and inspirations. And someone had said sound or silence. And this is silence. Yes. In the Cave of Winds of the Mind is House 13, the bridge card here. So if any of the artistry is standing out to you, this feels like feathers. And I also feel very protective with like dragons around each side. Something about time is also coming through. And if this message is for one, thank you for holding space. There is somebody that has passed, a spirit, a ghost, the afterlife, the hereafter. not to be confused with in this space that they are not earthbound in any way, shape, or form, but they have the ability to move closer to you as we exist in the earthbound. And I feel like when I think of them, they send you light, like light and love, good old-fashioned light and love. And maybe you're grieving. Maybe you're in a depressive or contemplative state, compression, decompression, and maybe even shifting and noticing the subtleties to extremities of those states. Am I depressed? Or am I compressing something? Like compressing a zip file as well. And there's something about easy access to that and taking up less storage space. Because I feel like when I'm in the depressive state, if I may, and I'm just out here contemplating, not defining for anyone, just in this moment, it is though in that depression state, I'm looking for a change. That's what I'm looking for. It's like, yeah, I like this job, but maybe I'm going to find a hobby. It can help fuel a hobby that fulfills me in some way, shape, or form, even if it's a curiosity. Releasing and foregoing the angst of purpose of, say, or mission, but it's like to follow something that's like, oh, you know, I want to go read a book in the library. I don't know, something like that. And it's almost like I'm tired of being a character. And then it's almost like that compresses down, takes up less storage space, so the heaviness starts to lift. And then I can realize that character and the traits maybe you've learned from that, the strengths, the skills, the softnesses, whatever the case is. Again, I'm not defining. It's this space that I'm in. And I'm like, oh no, I can compress that, maybe move some of it to the trash, keep the files that you want. Okay, those are really good things. I don't want to poo-poo that. Okay, but I also don't want to keep everything else around it. And then there's this compression to expression. Oh my gosh, I love it. Woo, that felt like a wisdom at work there. Thank you. The spirit card is step forward once again, because there's, if you can imagine, like I, you, me, right in here. And all of this, there's your hands. Maybe you're a big giver. Please receive. There's a horse with blinders on here. You know, when the horse has got those blindy things on, I'm sure there's a purpose. And I'm trying to think of my girlfriend. She has a ranch and she has animals. And I'm like, I know there's a reason. I don't know it, but nonetheless, there's a reason for that. And there's also eyes down here, but these eyes have like King Kongs in them. I feel like if you're here in this message, I'm going to use the word big vision, but maybe it's starting off as a candle flame. Like just a, you know, striking the match. And maybe there's something to be said, or a reminder of small starts. Even if we're 89, because it's almost like that small start feel. Again, it's not to say big and small, better, worse, noob to elder. That's not necessarily how I'm sensing this. But that's almost like the seed of spirit moving through you. So the energy of this, the vision is big. It's a big playroom. And I have a feeling in some way, shape, or form in this space of silence, contemplation, connection as well, back to because that spirit is coming through again. They're like, I'm here. And I think you know that. It's not about validating that you know they're there. You know when they're around. It's a feeling. I don't know how else to say it. It's a feeling. And maybe something about food. Maybe they it could be phantom smells, or they have an associate. Maybe they're a cook or a chef, or when you eat their favorite grilled cheese sandwich, that was their favorite food. And so you're like, every time you have a grilled cheese sandwich, there's like The power of sentimentality, the power of sentimentality, the power of a small start. Yeah. The power of a seed, all that kind of good stuff. I want to keep going in here. I really need my, I do have glasses. Give me a moment. Sometimes we use the blur to our advantage, and then other times I'm like, I need some gaggles. This feels feathery in the mind, like if you were taking a feather duster in between the crevices of the mind. There's a sloth here, and I want to mix the sloth with the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, which is interesting because the sloth generally has like this very chill vibe, happy vibe. Like, I'm just happy to be doing what I'm doing, dude. Like, peace, love, whatevs. I have no idea, but that's how I'm feeling. Like, they're just so like embodied chillness. You think my slowness is a disadvantage? Please. Your wisdom works for thee, not for me. But the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, and there might be something about this where you feel, and I'm very compassionate here, but you might feel something's been taken from you. A person, a loved one, a pet. But that fur feather thing is coming back. And so whether you work with spirit animals or you get the wisps of spirit, they step into the mind to help that as a bridge to connect to you. It feels all feathery. There's also a gentleman here. Okay, yeah, see, there's something. It's like Bob's Burgers. That's what he looks like. Have you ever seen the cartoon Bob's Burgers? And something related to food or emotional eating, comfort. And it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. And I'm not trying to give permission to be in any way, shape, or form an extreme in one way or the other, or to be unhealthy, because this actually has a message of health and happiness. But I think that there's been a space of silence. It could also be a vow of silence. There's angel wings here reaching out, but these angel wings are butterfly. There's also mice eating cheese. I feel sad that something has happened. Okay, I'm going to just feel that for a moment. Excuse me, because it's almost like that sadness comes over like silence. There's all these different degrees and ways that I feel like I'm experiencing the inspiration of silence. A shroud, a cloud, a quietness as well, a contemplativeness. There's all of these different variations of it. And as well, if it's something about food or eating, not from the spirit, that's a separate story, but this feels like, okay, I'm ready to go for a walk. Or it's like stepping outside of a house and taking a deep breath. A different kind of health, breath health, elixir existence health. And it starts with a breath. One breath. Gorgeous. In the cave of hearth fires is the mediator. House 2 or number 2, if that means anything to you. There's a chiseling away at the top there. It almost looks like a symbol that I'm seeing, like it indicates something. Eagle talons, or big bird talons anyway. Like, I'm actually seeing that butterfly that has feathers for wings that I saw earlier, if I didn't finish that thought. And now I'm seeing more of a regular butterfly, but this butterfly has eagle talons as little butterfly feet. It's like the power of the eagle, or the symbolic space of this hearth fire of creation has the power of both the butterfly and the eagle, whatever those might mean to you. Ayui me. See this? I'm going to put Ayui me here. There's something very indigenous about this if you're looking for an indigenous symbol. That big bird I was seeing, eagle, vulture, apply what you will, this is indicating to me clearly a thunderbird. And the thunderbird has an open heart. This open heart space, it could also be like surgery, or that space of your heart, that this piece of spirit that feels missing. How am I whole without you? Because I'm hearing that song, bear with me, and it's very early in the morning. How do I live without you? Oh, it's not even the tune at all. But I think that's kind of the point here as well. Something feels out of tune a little bit. But where that space is in this Thunderbird, apply the meaning or research the meaning, how you would like to step into that. But it's being placed on this, and where that hole is, and or shield, is a manta ray. And that leads me into this interesting like Thunderbird penguin. So this might also be your partner that has passed, or somebody really close to you in your family. Yeah. Okay, can I wander into, if I may, to the expression of maybe a job or career? Thunderbird, penguin, butterfly, eagle talons. It's like, thank you. Remember I was seeing that symbol earlier? It's like mining for something. But they're coming together in a totem, and something that maybe me in our own way, shape, or form have placed on a pedestal, unreachable, unattainable. It's like being a child of sorts. And when I grow up, what do you want to be when you grow up? When can I stay up late? I want to stay up late. Well, when it's my house, my rules, all of these things that lead to this, like, it feels like it's out of reach. And then when you are an adult and you're like, well, now I can stay up as late as you want, as late as I want, or I can have cookies for breakfast. But there's these other things that are, anyway, the point is, the way I'm horribly expressing it, it's like almost like the carrot's always out of reach. But we do attain those things. We do. We can stay up late, eat the cookies for breakfast, whatever you want to do. But there's always like this vast vista of possibility. And now what inspires you from this point to consider? And is it too much? Is it too little? Is it too much, but somehow not fulfilling? If this is a person, place, a thing, a job, this, that, or the other, it's like, I make all this money, but I'm not happy, and sometimes people can say, well, that doesn't make sense. You have a house, you have a car, you have a partner, you have this, you're not happy, you're not fulfilled. Again, from another perspective, and this is just what's coming through, and maybe it could be a simple, sometimes as simple as gardening, something for you, something that nurtures your soul, something that says, hey, this doesn't have to have big meaning or a big presentation to have immense meaning. Like your favorite flower or favorite color crayon is, for one reason or another, favored by you, and that makes it bigger. You see it bigger, it appreciates that. And you don't have to worry about everything else, because other people will find other favorites too. Anyway, nonetheless, wherever the heck I am, there might be something we've placed on a pedestal that seems out of reach. I see this totem stacked in your heart of hearts. And I see you being placed on the pedestal. And maybe you've gone through things that says, well, if you prioritize yourself first, you're selfish. And that's something to look at underneath that. Is it really? Or is it maybe other storylines, if I may, as it steps forward, that says, if you do that, you might recognize you don't need me as much, and that creates a fear, and it gets all very complicated. I'm not trying to be like but it's just like, okay, but this, you're living your life. It's important to be surrounded by people, places, or things where those totems fit and they're stable. Not perfect, stable. In the Cave of Rivers, here's your scroll if you want to take it in. It is cusp as Astrology and Auras edition, so take in the word if it stands out. Otherwise, I'm seeing, oh my goodness. So kind of like that manta ray that was in here, and now it's like I've zoomed in on that. And what was mining and digging before is drawing things up. I'm also seeing someone or something that is like playing Sink My Battleship. Or did you ever play that old game, Battleship? Stresses me right out. But there's a, thank you, and a lift bridge. It's lifting. Oh, and it's just like, whew. But maybe the journey to get to that lift bridge was really the, it's like not just being there to this lift bridge that opens or doesn't open is the thing. It's the journey, your journey. I'm seeing like a captain's log if there's something about a ship or a boat, and maybe it's just because we're in the Cave of Rivers, so it's very water oriented, cup oriented, whatever the case is. And I think that there's been this little bit back and forth with the cusp, or maybe your signs, your sun sign, moon sign, whatever the case is you're on a cusp, and it can feel like, work version is this stuff and home version is this stuff, but then gal pal stuff is this version, sister stuff. They're all aspects of our authenticity if we're okay with that and we know that. And then maybe sometimes we're just like, okay, being on our best behavior or suppressing, decompressing. You get the gist of all the personality traits. But this feels personal, that light that we started with the selenite, nurturing it, loving it with your spirit, connecting with your higher self. Yes, it's like an LED bulb rather than, I'm just going to say a regular bulb. Again, whether it's better or worse, but there's something about the way it can illuminate. And is it hymens? Is that the way it's measured? And now we start to soar. And I just saw, like, for some as I saw, it's like a ship, and now I see it as like a blimp in the air. Whatever happened to blimps? Do we still have blimps? Nonetheless, this is like ease, emotional, being easy on ourselves. There might be some squawkers, but the squawkers are always going to be. But are we being our own squawker? Mm. I'm also seeing a head with my hands down. Somebody might have been in the Navy. And I am head down with kind of like my palms either like this. It's something, and I feel like a grandma kind of vibe comes through. Mm. It could be prayer, but in the spirit of that. In the Cave of Earth or your pentacles, taking your scroll. Interesting that it's very blue, but there's also like a really dark purple here. And I love this because it's almost like coming through that. And even in the spirit of the light wattages or illuminations of the hymens. And I'm just, it could be like a hymen of a threshold, birthing something, congratulations. If you are bringing something into life, a project, you're starting to knit again, or you're like, I'm going to get back in the kitchen, start cooking whatever it is that you like to cook. And again, also my condolences if somebody has lost a child. Like, there are no words. There are no words. This is the space where we would sit in silence together. And that space to breathe and to be and exist. There's nothing one could say to fix that. But if I may, in the space of this, maybe this liminality that's here in whatever context or regard or compartment, it's like moving through that, the lift bridge, and it has, for me, what I say, like the huzzah feel. And there's a different kind of emergence here. Where'd my sticky? There we go. There's a different emergence right there. And it's like if we could take all the different kind of symbolic animals that have stepped forward. Yeah. I am seeing what I think is a seal eat a fish. And this feels very receiving. This felt very giving over here. Now this feels very receiving. Yes, from spirit, because your spirit has been working with the spirit form while in density with spirit. They're always existing in that spaces, communicating, working through the different layers of sorts, especially in this liminality space. And something comes to fruition, receiving the fruits of your labor. Now, that may not always be what we thought it would look like from this big vision. It's like, oh, I thought it would look like this. And then I thought it would feel this way, like that association. Let's go back to the example. Closer, closer, closer. I can't remember. I just remembered there was an example. Okay, thank you. The job. So maybe you move up the ranks, you change companies, whatever, and you're like, hey, I'm going to make more money or have a bigger office, whatever the case is. Or maybe you're going to go from hostess to dishwasher, what, I don't know. Pick the things, pick the crayon, pick your crayon. And it's like, oh, well, now I have this position or I'm making more money, but I'm actually like, I didn't think it would feel this way. I thought it was going to fulfill something. That's okay. But maybe there's a little self-disappointment here. It's like, oh, I put so much time and effort into this. I was striving and reaching, and I'm like, oh, I didn't. Okay, I'm here. And it's like, oh. But now my big office is near the bathroom, so now I just get everyone's like weird air breeze stanks. Like, you know what I mean? Like it could be something like that. You're like, oh, I didn't think getting an office. Okay. But you get the gist. So there's something about like achieving it and then the feeling like I didn't realize it would feel this way because everyone else, let's say as our examples, as our inspiration that we're drawn to, great things. But a lot of the times, what's presented as their feeling, first of all, is theirs. So whether it is legit or not, it is what it is. It's theirs. It's their feeling association with that. And like you and me might get there and be like, oh, okay. And it's kind of like, if I may, instead of going wah wah, it's this wisdom to go, oh, okay. So I'm not going to be disappointed. We can be, but don't want to apply that disappointment as a blanket of cone of silence. And now we can't say anything because we work so hard to be here. No, my goodness. And sure, maybe we're like, we'll give it more time. We're like, maybe I'm just adjusting, acclimating to something, and that's okay. You know, like, okay, that feels, if that feels good to you, it feels good to you. And then other times it might be like, you know what? Okay. Not that we're always chasing another goal. Maybe sometimes we might never want to be fulfilled because that pain, that hurt, then would go away. And that's our connection to something, someone or something or a part of ourselves. Again, the power of that seed, the power of that crayon. No matter where you are in all of this, because this feels like deep introspection. And there may not be a lot being said on the surface, but in the space of silence, there's a lot being felt. But what is being heard is connecting in with spirit or to higher self, your soul space. And I want to bring in the other card that's with it here, because there is this receiving the fruits of your labor. There's a shark tooth in there as well. It's not, you're not falling prey to something. You know your own games. You know your own neural pathways. You know your behaviors. You know the whys, even if we don't want to look at that sometimes. And then we can, look at them and be like, Steph, you're just being away because you're nervous or you had expectations and maybe the new office isn't meeting them. But what can you contribute here? Like, don't start having the pity party just yet. Like, take a breath. And sometimes in the absence of the concept, but giving it time and saying, okay, I'm just being a little wily here. And I know that. And I would like to have a little bit more experience, data, information, and however you receive that before you maybe jump ship or jump blimp, you know what I mean? And making the change. I also want to note as well, because the card that's coming through that supports it is more crown energy, but this is dark crown energy. And I don't say that in like, oh, dark, shadow, light. I'm saying this in depth. If we may place a point of reference, that if the crown portal chakra energy maybe in this example darkest where it hits us being of density, and it lightens as it rises. So we are the densest point of that threshold as the example, not defining. Which means you carry depth. Like you might just be a deep feeler, a deep thinker. Okay. Awesome. Truly. And I mean that. I'm not talking about you're so sensitive, you take things so serious. No, I mean like straight up. It's like connected to like you're connected. But I'll say this. You can also have fun in the shallow end. You can also have fun in the puddles and the days that it rains and there's little drops, and it doesn't take away from that. It doesn't take away from your seriousness. It might even add to your serenity. Okay, so thank you. And for those or anyone grieving, even versions of us, person, place, or thing, like we can feel the feels deeply and then have good days, bad days, or bouts. They don't control us, but we step in and we say, okay, I'm feeling this deeply. But I can also smile, have a good day. And that's beautiful too. Closing out messages here for number 1, we have Spirit of Destruction. Hunter, oh, for heavens and hot dogs, Hunter of Dreams. Hi ho. Ancestor of Tribes. Is that a sleeping rabbit? It's that light we were talking about. There's a hand there. And this spirit, yes, is handing you the light. Your light, reminder of your light, or from the beginning when we had the selenite. And you are the selenite light. You might have a connection with but look how beautiful selenite is against the backdrop of said dark. Lots of spirit animals in here, and there is a helping hand. And I'm seeing it actually as like a giraffe. He's a friendly giraffe. I feel like he's a character of someone or something, but I just can't remember. Your dreams moving over this bridge, this time threshold that maybe is just like, and it's like, you know what, feather dusted the brain. Hold on, Hold on a minute. Maybe just going for a burger is good today. Having some good food. Ancestor of tribes up there in the Cave of Hearth Fires. You know those are with you. Your guardians, I heard specifically, your guardians. As you sleep, as you surrender. Ancestor of hope in the Cave of Rivers. It's like, I hope this is the right thing to do. Because you're going through the lift bridge. You're moving past the hymen of illums and of the birth canal, whatever that is for you, even another emotional space. Like just, it's like unlocking what we think is angry, sad, this, that, or the other, dirt. Everybody was kung fu fighting and being on guard all the time, And in this space of science, just like, oh, there's a whole ocean here, or like finding a beach that there's not a lot of people on yet. But you're part of the discovery, which will bring that into focus to the forefront for others. And then it's like, oh, now it's a popular beach. And some people might be like, well, now it's popular. But the journey to go and find another one may be the point. But you're bringing something to the surface. That would be quite popular. Cave of Earth. Spirit of initiation. And there's that spirit with the threshold, the belt of being. You might even be tightening your belt if you're looking to, doubloons. Maybe you've saved enough money, or you have saved like an emotional or energetic reservoir is the way I'm hearing that, or reserves. Again, I kind of want to say there might this veteran Navy, something along that lines, the reserves. Yeah. And your final card is Two of Spears. Look at the art first. You know that's where I'm going to go. Take in that big breath. There's those dragons up there as well that were floating around, very protective. 10 of coins is on the bottom. Top of the morning to you. This was lovely. Even I hope this is serve, inspire, educate, or entertain. And thank you so much for being here for number 1. I will see you later if you're opting to choose to go to number 2 or number 3. Everything's in the description box below. If you're interested in this scroll deck, you can check out the links in the description box below. I think that's the best route. Yeah, open for pre-order for the second print. Otherwise, I will see you again soon. So much love. Bye. Hello, number 2. This reading's for you. Oh, maybe you got some singing in there. Your stone is amethyst, which I'll be psychometry scrying along the way. This is my contemplation crystal ball. It kind of looks like a bouquet. Love it. And our deck is my pocket portals, mini scrying mirrors. I love it. Look at these little guys. The link is in the description box if you're interested. Let's get into your spirit guide message. Do you hear singing? Because there's a lot more of this kind of, and I know I'm like a random belter outer, but there's, I kind of feel surrounded by it. It's very moving. Maybe music moves you. It's like when I hear certain songs or chords, I don't know what the chords are, but then it like gives you goosebumps. That's what it feels like. Cave of Ice. Cave of Winds. Ooh. Cute. Cave of Hearth Fires. You got 2 for the Hearth Fires. Cave of Rivers. And Cave of Earth. Thank you. On the bottom is, well, I'm going to say pin a rose on your nose. So pin a rose on your nose. Good thing about the pocket portals is whichever way they come forward is the way they are. All right, let's go. Something is around my neck. Do you know what I want to say is almost like, well, I'll just say it. Receive or release freely. Pick and flick what feels good, doesn't feel good. In regards to alignment, not in the dopamine hit of sorts. Like Prometheus. Like two Moai from Easter Island are talking, but they're cold and it's like a snowman and they've put a scarf around them. Maybe a scarf symbolizes something to you. Could be something from spirit as well, that they're like, they gave you a scarf. There's something about that, but it's wrapped around my neck in here. And I'm taking a moment because the sacral energy might be a prominent focus here, but the sacral energy is up in the throat, and I'm not seeing the blue yet. That doesn't matter. I can see you up here, and it will guide me into my heart at some point in time of some expression. But it's gray. See there, it's gray. There's little noses or eyes. And it kind of feels cold here, like if our eyebrows were covered in snow and ice, and maybe just somewhere it's been chilly. Maybe something's chilling to talk about in the Cave of Ice as well, that we've been chiseling away at, unbinding ourselves. And interestingly enough, I don't know much about Prometheus, but it has stepped forward a few times, whether at the House of Scrying or here, I can't remember. Something about, and forgive me if I'm wrong, the giving fire to humans. And so now I feel like this chiseling that maybe IUE me in some regard, context, personal, professional, corporate, creative, romantic, platonic, have been working at. And Prometheus comes in and says, I will give you fire to melt this. And it also kind of, interestingly enough, it's like the fire creates the smoke. And maybe you've been speaking in asking for help, like smoke signals, asking for help. There's, I'm also seeing a Yoda up here. Okay, so I'm just going right to the Cave of Hearthfires, but over here in this scroll, it's like I can see this. You might be. Oh, there's so much coming through. My goodness. So there's a lotus. There's also a Yoda. There's people here, and there's a being here. And earbuds. So sometimes when we're not speaking, it's because we're listening. I do want to know whether this message is for one or for some. It feels like a guru, a god, goddess, deity-esque, because it's like the people. There's a being here and then another one here. There's also a tuning fork. So there's something about tuning. And thank you, back down here in the Cave of Ice, the band Tragically Hip, the lead singer, rest in peace, he would always wear like a, no, I shouldn't say always in his career, but at least, anyway, he would wear like a scarf around his neck to keep his vocal cords warm. And that was a very nurturing thing to do for his singing, for his throat. He was keeping it warm. Mm. Mm. Thank you, Gordy baby. So yes, it's, and maybe putting yourself in, I'm going to place myself first, because maybe there is a god, goddess, deity, worship guru, somebody that you're working, that you listen to, and you're like, yeah. And it, kind of brings that warmth over, that feels soothing and encourages and empowers in some way in our heart of hearts. Are you part of a choir? This is all this singing. All this singing. Karaoke. You don't have to be a good singer. Sure, there's going to be judgments or this, you can be like Steph and just raw and be like, wow. I don't know. But it's, I don't know. Can I place you in there? Can I plop you in here of your throat chakra coming through? And if Prometheus is over here with this sacral fire coming to the throat and saying, Spice Girls, I'm hearing, so tell me what you want, and speaking into existence, even by the power of, if I may, you speaking the word, you, amazing, in your heart of hearts. And it feels like it just opens up the key. It's almost like you're a key maker. Oh, it's very amethysty. Hmm. Also, something about a sword. Interesting. Uh, are you calling somebody or somebody calling you? I got distracted by the tuning fork reverb. I almost like had to recalibrate. Is there a recalibration going on here? Oh, thank you. There's a very slight detail here. So if this is the scarf, this is like the bottom lip. There's a spirit right here that is undoing this clasp of the throat warmer. I don't think it's a throat warmer in this energy. It's more of a shutter downer, a fog. Synthesizer, and or if I may, um, the chain, the like, and it's something that maybe we've been chained to or feel enslaved to a certain energy. There's a spirit here that is unlocking that. And it's not like in this story of like, well, you've had the power to do that the whole time. Why didn't you do it earlier? No, 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 no. And I get that. We can, we can feel away. This is because of something you've realized and recognized. Truly, it's something that not only have you recognized and realized, but it's almost like the rumination has stopped. And now I'm in the Little Mermaid and she got her voice back. But she went through this whole journey. I can't really remember the Little Mermaid story, but there's a whole journey of her getting her legs. And maybe this is something we did, when you make those decisions to say, okay, well, you're having children, the sacrifices you might make for them to have certain opportunities that you didn't have and you might do without, or, pick and choose. But I feel like whatever it is, the lesson has been learned, the realization realized. Yeah, feels good. Now, there also might have been somebody with a neck injury, if that is it's like getting a cast off, but it seems to be around the neck area. Or if this is a spirit that has passed and they're kind of giving you that symbol, like, I'm here, remember my neck, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but this is how it feels. It's like they're like, I broke my neck, like I broke my neck. Feels like a car accident or something like that. And they have like one of those big poofy things on, the neck brace. And now put that wisdom within yourself. It's like, okay, we've been so used to having this cast, utilizing some sort of a structure and then taking it off or getting braces off or something like that. And it's like, whew, okay, there's breeze, but we might be a little nervous. That's okay. Get used to it. Build that trust again. Build that trust with your body, with that part. Build strength, stamina, whatever the case is. Don't be hard on yourself. It's almost like physiotherapy. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Maybe it's psychic physiotherapy, and that's okay too. In the Cave of Winds, here is our little pocket portal. Take it in. Oh, it's almost like that candle. I think that was the candle in the first one. It might have been. there's a different, so first of all, a candlestick. And I got a key maker here. Do we have a baker, a candlestick maker? Something like rhymes, singing, writing music. You might be a poet, but you might not think that you're a songwriter. But I feel like they could be, excuse me, a path. It could be. Something about a house. And I am seeing a thing from the Addams family. And it's like they're tapping here at your feet. Hello. Hello. We're in the cave of wind, so we're in the mind, we're in the swords. Something about candle carving as well. As it came out, birth control, or maybe in one way or the other, like having an IUD, removing it, or maybe you're changing birth control, or you're no longer. It's kind of like even in another way, like going through the change, like menopause, perimenopause, all that kind of good stuff. Do you know what I feel like? I'm back in this cave of earth fires. I'll get to you in just a moment if you're going to step forward again. There is this feeling of, okay, how am I going to say this without, well, I sound ridiculous all the time. Imagine we're like a peacock just walking around, and then all of a sudden they do their feather things. I don't know actually how fast it happens, but I'm seeing it like, like it's, the heart and the crown are very, very connected for you. And there's something about the heart and the crown, but there's something about the throat. So you might, again, be a singer, start singing tones, that tuning fork, speaking, public speaking, channeling. Now, maybe that starts and you write it down, and then you look at or you write music, you write code, but then you look at it and you say it out loud. And even if I was seeing that as computer code, because maybe that's your heart's language, your love language is being a code creator. You know all the things. But when you put those codes in, it's like a song of an environment, a song of a skill that now that program has. And it helps somebody else in that game or that program express themselves or maneuver through experiences. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love it. And again, it's like this energy of just like a bath bomb that just sizzles, not because it fades away, just because it's like, thank you for opening me up. And take that. Right. And it's all very like amethyst oriented. Now, you don't need to give a hoot or a toot about amethyst. I'm just letting you know that it could be, or the color purple or violet and or white, because not all, you do you. Your crown color can be whatever you want. But it's almost like going from that deep purple, how we kind of came from one in like the deep crown, deep thinker feeler, and getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So it's almost like even in the spirit of that is, the purple or the violet is also black and white, because they will meet at their extremities. Oh, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, darling. Gorgeous. Yeah, the opinion's mindful of those that are in your ear or that have your ear. There is a Yoda here. It's an emotional Yoda. Yeah. Okay, so it's like fire and water, and I'm going to come into the cave of rivers. Congratulations if you are committing, not a crime, commitment. There's a diamond ring in there. Pinky promise, a pinky ring to yourself, something that symbolizes maybe it or an earring, a piece of jewelry. Not every position or job kind of allows us sometimes it's just not in the best interest to wear jewelry. So maybe you have, it's your screen saver if you're, you know, a coder or something like that, or a surgeon, or you work with food, you're a food handler. And so you like to wear a purple shirt, violet, or socks, or a shoelace. Like, again, it doesn't need to be a big deal. It may have nothing to do with purple. I'm just letting you know. It's almost like you have the ability to infuse that black shoelace with this energy. This commitment that's coming through, this emotional commitment, and it feels coalescing. It feels pretty cool, actually. It feels like really cool. So it's almost like we're the black and the white of the lightest of the violets and the purples to the darkest of the purples, and they come together, and it's just like, ah, again, singing, ah. Yes, yes. There's been a shield around something. I'm also seeing barbed wire between the heart and the throat. Okay, okay. But you've been looking at something. You've been looking, and maybe it's, you know, part of your programming instead of, you know, wandering into the predator and prey or victim and, you know, those are things that they're there. But this is like, I feel like you've been looking at something like, oh, I have barbed wire here. And maybe we've butted up against a few times and, you know, we're like, okay, that, so why is the barbed wire there? And it feels introspective, and it feels like the spirit message that sings to you, or you are kind of like, you are a song as well, and it feels like classical music. Okay, so I'm going to say classical music because that's inherently how I heard it. But you might, I don't know, there's just like, maybe it's rave, maybe it's metal, maybe it's rock. I don't think it's pop, to be honest with you. That feels like it has its place, but it's not here in this moment. But it's like a poem can be used, a deep poem, somebody's soul expression in a poem can be used as pop music. And I don't want to poo-poo that. Just in the moment of feeling the octaves, okay. Just like when I was seeing the violet, you know, go from black or white, and again, that's not because it's black or white, but because it's, anyway, you get the gist. And then seeing that tuning fork go this way as well. It feels like that's the closest I can say for me. But you might hear it in pop or rock, whatever the case is. Something that strikes a chord. Mm. And you've been looking at it anyway, because there's something about maybe behind songs or meanings or poems or words that are triggering for you. And I mean, like, they can also trigger in a good way, like striking a chord and going bong, and you're like, yeah, yeah, there's something there that gave me a ping. It's also kind of in the space of, if I may, you might be very empathically oriented, psychonautically oriented as well, not to be confused with psychedelic, but psychonautically an existence explorer. And when you get like pings, and then I think that's also like maybe in coding world, I don't know, or at least computer world, I feel like I use those interchangeably. Coders, computers, I love it. Potato, potato. And it's like you get these pings, like these notifications. There's activity going on over here. Yeah. Oh, these cool minds are just too cool. Like, these two faces are, whether it's two parts of you or of your bestie, I don't know what it is. Partner. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. In the cave of Earth, here's our little pocket portal. They're very potent. I love these little guys because they're just like pokes, third eye pokes, and these big eyes. And I see we've gone from throat to eyes, throat to eyes. And And there's something about, I've seen it twice now because I see you here. There's actually a head. This is more like wings. These are arms, arms open. The same kind of like fae or fairy-like being is here as well. I'm seeing somebody play what I think is like the old school washboards. Like I feel like the music or making sound that inspires singing has been around for so long, and maybe in your way, shape, or form, or humanity is finding its tune, finding its rhythm. Maybe whatever context this is in, you're finding your rhythm. Does Stella got her groove back? Male or female? It's just coming through that way. Gordy from the Tragically Hip. It's like even taking what may be the spirit of, I don't know why they're named that, but the, Tragically Hip. Maybe you're looking at your hips, your hip health, flexibility, whatever the case is. And it's like the tragedy and turning it into being hip, being cool for you. If it's a tragic story. Let's add on some oracle cards. Ooh, okay, okay. I guess we'll see them in a moment. And again, thank you as well. All, if you're going to support, buy a deck, for subscribing, all that kind of good stuff. You guys are great. And I hope that you enjoy our weekly pick of cards. Good times, what's on the bottom? A rebirth. Okay. Your two bottom cards, rebirth, and what I'm seeing as a flower, a rose. So pin a rose on your nose, damn right. If people are like, well, pin a rose on your nose, puck them. Yes, pin a rose on your nose. Enjoy the sweet smells of singing. Fresh scents, not Febrezes. So that's very clear. Fresh scents, not Febrezes. With the Prometheus and the sacral and the throat, destiny, this armor, maybe that has also just been there the whole time in some way, shape, or form. Even fog can be armor because now we can't see. But there's the key. There's the key. Mindful of people or yourself try and get you just wound up. And then it ends up getting you in a space of stagnancy, stuck, frozen. Just mindful of that. Healing energy with Thing walking around. I feel like it's super supportive. Like I think if Thing walking around is like, hey, Steph, and be like super supportive. I'm here for you. A helping hand, literally a helping hand. You also might be stepping into being a healer or as a helping hand. You might be an apprentice of something or of some sorts. Yeah, as above, so below. And there's something about dedication in there. And there are also sometimes, if I can throw it in as it stepped forward, sometimes the benefits are, I shouldn't, that felt weird. Yes, the branches and the leaves of the seed growing, some of them are here in this realm, and others sometimes have an appreciation or respect or knowing that you're also growing that tree, and the expressions or benefits of go beyond the here and now. Yeah. Happiness is yelling bingo. Happiness coming in the cave of hearth fires, which is nice. It's that sun. Somebody have a son that speaks to them in spirit and or maybe nonverbal, and you hear their thoughts, their expressions through other senses. I feel like they're like the light of my life. You light up my life. Oh my gosh, there's so much singing in here. And if this one isn't for you, you've well gone. You've well left. And I'm glad that you've made your choices. But for those of us that are here, the song of the heart is starting to sing or be in the space of like a classical music composition where, you know, boom, 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 boom. It's the conversation of the chords when you have like maybe the cellos talking to the violin, and it's like that's why this conversation is so freaking cool. Thank you. You can hear the flowers talking, the rose is talking to the daisies, the sky, and I don't mean just with the ears. Again, it's like listening to a composition that has, they're embracing their conversation between the cello and the violin, the tuba and the drums creating the rumble and the grounding foundation that we can all tune into and feel okay to go into the darkness in which the space in the cave and the cavern calls for us to come through, as the flutes and the clarinets and the saxophones start to come in and say success, your destiny, healing energy. Maybe the healing has just been done and you're like, okay, this energy is like super healing. Yay. Thing says, yay. This is how we're moving. This is how we do it. Not, you know, maybe you're not doling out healing, and maybe some people are. And that's part of their decision to share, to promote, to be a leader in that case. And then other times it might be like, oh, I'm just gonna take this healing energy, this deep dark poem or code, and create a haunted level. But you come out and you're like, success. You get the star like Mario Brothers. Fireworks, fireworks, fireworks. And in the cave of earth, there's that sword too. Do you know what I want to say? Okay, thank you. This is the instant insight I got, which is why I also love these pocket portals, because sometimes you just get one hit off them and you're like, okay, cool. Somebody's been trying to like pick your locks. I don't know if it's pick your brain, get access to you from behind. I don't know. I feel like people would say like destiny swapping. Now, I don't know if that's a thing or a term that's being used to express something. You know what I mean? And that's just the term that's being used. So you do with it what you will with that. I'm just going to let you know, I feel like there's, yeah, my hand's getting itchy. There's someone or something that maybe has been like trying to pick your lock, not use the key. And because they don't have access for a reason, because you have cut ties with them. You've been like, enough is enough. I see you. Keeping an eye on you. Good, good. That's responsible. Hopefully not to a paranoid degree, but if it does, or someone is causing you paranoia, I think that's just proving you made the right decision. So maybe you also change your locks, and that's why there's a new key sword here. Blank key. And you're like, I'm going to get new keys cut. Maybe this is to your mind or your heart. Again, I don't feel like me, if this is you, you're like trying to be difficult. I feel like this is protective, it's intelligent, and it protects your happiness and success from someone or something that may try and be like, siphon your healing energy. Now, if that happens, or we've been through that, and this is the song that we have once sung, and now you're coming out and you're like, insert angel choir music, or whatever would make you feel like you've just hit the sun from this frozen state. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Let's grab a tarot card and then I will let you go. Tarot. All right. You know, and sometimes you gotta be mindful. Everyone's on their own, you know, not everyone who inquires is of your interest. It's usually for their interest. Okay, I'm not trying to be weird about it, but just know your audience, I suppose. The star. Do you know what I want to say? I feel in this card. I'll bring it down so you can see the art. If you feel like a falling star, male or female energies is how I'm going to relate into this. Aquarius also might mean something to you, but yeah, maybe. But you know what? Sure. Do you feel like a falling star that fell all the way, got held? First of all, someone around you that was being shady, sticky fingers of sorts, even if it's emotional, energetic, idea, they got caught. And they will have to deal with that karma, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, so say Ayumi feel like a falling star, and in a good way, it's like you got caught. It's like, and carried. And maybe there's been something in this healing energy here, this destiny that feels pre-designed, stifling even. And it's like, you know what? Allow this part of you. Maybe it's your masculine and feminine side. It's your psyche and psychic senses, your intuition to your instincts says, you heal. I got this. I can take the lead. I can be in the driver's seat, conscious, unconscious, subconscious. You get the gist. You're still contributing even as you're healing. Do you know that? Do you know that even while we might be hurt, healing, whatever is going on, you're still contributing to the whole of the ecosystem? And that has value in this ecosystem of IUE me anyway. So this part of you is like, I got you. And if you need that time, because you're going to come out different, or you will add a different value, you're not going to take advantage of your own energies and be like, well, I'm just going to take a little extra time and exhaust this part of you. No, anyway, I don't even know where I'm at in this, but it feels like catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away. Feels like a rebirth of whatever you want that to be reflectively. And if someone or something or a situation in our life depleted us, try to take the destiny by putting someone in or a part of you in a sleep-like state, an overly trusting state. You're like, oh, you want to tell me everything so that I can it's so creepy. You've woken up. Good. And seek help. Ask for help and support. If that's, therapy or concepts, structures. Because I'm going to say this here, especially with all of this, that your happiness and success that's coming with the star, which we could say is your destiny that you're choosing to designing, you're going to be cutting ties with some people, places, or things. Cool. And if I may as well, old stories. Just, it's like you're going to talk about maybe what was your stories growing up or how you persevered to inspire others. Great. But emotionally, they're going to feel really far away from you. You can be like, it's almost like I'm telling a story that's not mine because it's not that close anymore. And that's okay. We don't get brownie points for keeping that suffering or that teaching so close and keeping it in the shallow end. Oh my gosh. Okay. My goodness. I love you. I hope this should serve, inspire, educate, or entertain. Thank you for being here for the spirit message. And I will see you next week. Or you can check out the House of Scrying in between. And I'll see you then. So much love. Bye. Number 3. Your crystal is rose quartz. It's starting to get very sunny out, so hopefully we use that as our psychometry scrying crystal ball. And the deck, link is in the description box below, that yours truly has created, is the jumbo Intuitive Inkblot, Mirror Edition. Let's see what your spirit message is today. What is stepping forward for yours truly? Oh, yours truly. I love it. I feel like I need to take deep breaths here. All right. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Like, sharing, and subscribing. Cube of Ice. Cube of Winds. Cube of Earth Fire. First Fire. Cube of Rivers. I just had some seeds, so don't mind me if I'm like doing weird thing. Oh, okay. And Cave of Earth. We will get to everything in just a moment. Just have them step forward. But you know the drill. If you see, sense, or feel anything, you can comment below your choice, what you're choosing. On the bottom is a gift. But I'm actually just going to put you off to the side. Thank you. Okay. Have you been making a wish? Wanting a wish? Okay, so interesting. I think in number 2, I'm pretty sure it was number 2, I saw like a peacock with like this amethyst energy. It's like, and now I'm seeing the peacock with its feathers out, but not in the poof. Something about brown feathers. And there is I'm right in here. You know the drill. See, sense, and feel for yourself. I'm right in here. See this eye? It's kind of like if this was the neck. It's almost like a llama looking in this direction, but it has like one of those, well, we know it as a scrikle. And we're like, ooh, ooh. Working with root and heart chakras. And then if I look at it from this direction, there's the same, very same eye. And it almost has like if I could mash a cardinal and a parrot together, those two. So you could also have a parent in spirit, but also maybe you have a bird. You might have a connection with the birds. So yes, there also feels like a learning of something that steps forward here. And whether the language is what you like to hear linguistically on the tongue or not, but it's almost like kind of like spread your angel wings. Now, maybe for you, you might be like, that's perfect. And then for others, you might be like, angel wings. No. Okay, so, but it's grounded with what I would see as like fossilized shaman wings. Or a different terminology. The point is, it's almost like just letting your wings out, you know? Yeah. You might be learning or diving into something that will teach you. Oh, it even says angel resonance over there. More about yourself. But there's something about having this presence of like, oh, it's a bitch push, da da da. I kind of want to say it's something like, it's not being snooty. Like, it's almost like, I don't know how, the irony is, oh my God, my words. The irony is, whatever this thing is, this make-a-wish that you want foundation, this teaching that you might be diving into, giving or receiving, it's not about inflating the ego to feel snotty or to have a reason to be snotty. I feel like if you want to be snotty, you're just going to be snotty. But do you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm trying to, maybe this is something that you've interacted with. So this message here, interesting. So it's kind of like there's a lot of sound and noise that I'm working through. And that's why I'm also trying to be mindful. You might be like, no, Steph, not at all. But it just, there's a lot of noise here. Maybe you're very attuned into the collective energies, or you are a teacher, guide, etc. And from that, it's like being in a classroom and there's just the students, they're excited, they're making noise, they're, oh my goodness, it's recess time, it's this, it's that, it's not recess time. There's a time, I suppose, in that space, and now I'm like literally seeing it. It's like, okay, everybody, come on. And that's not being snotty or egocentric. That's taking the lead and saying, because I, you, and me, the learning, the teaching, the student, the da da da. And then there's this other form where it's just kind of like, I don't know, it feels unproportionate, and because nothing's being said. In all of the noise, nothing's being said. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm so ready to hear this or receive this, be inspired by this. But it's almost like they're not this other, maybe it's a version of ourselves. We're just not hearing it, or they're not saying something. But I will say in this space, it feels outside of the classroom, which is weird. I don't know where this is leading. Okay, so this is how I'm going to step back in. Very noisy. But whatever it is that you want, like to wish for or say or desire, I feel like by doing that, you ground it in. Like you're grounding it into, I'm seeing ground pepper, and you ground the spice into it. It's infused in, so it may not look as traditional as other people want it to be. And I suppose that's perfectly fine. It's already in there. It's like, oh, I'm going to add pepper. Like the pepper's in there. Grounded up the pepper. What in the world? So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to come back to my rose quartz here, because I feel like this has taken me off course, on a course, around a course, obstacle course, and we've stepped in. Like, what are we here for? A few minutes? So I would like to acknowledge, if you're already like, Steph, what in the world has been going on in the last few minutes? This is maybe just the interestingness about this is that maybe you've been feeling this from the collective, maybe within our own ecosystems of energy. We're like, is it this, that, we're doing this? Is it, maybe we're worried too much sometimes. Is it egotistical? Is it not? By whose perspective? By what measurement? You are in charge of that. You are in charge of that. You get to know. You get to say, if your pish posh is pish posh, chop chop, let's go, respect. Or if it's just being arrogant and conceited. But sometimes authority, or whatever those words are, confidence, are what they are. And if they prick the somebody else, okay, that's a them thing. That's a them thing. At least here in the space, it's like I'm gonna just say that I need the noise to quiet down. I need the class to quiet down. Okay. Wowzers. Rose quartz, self-love, self-care. You might be a teacher. High school, children, ECE, uh, holistic, no, whatever the case is. And you're just like, wow, okay. In the Cave of Winds is my earth code. Take it in. I take in the art, but the word is there as a cue or a clue in case sometimes I go blot blind and you're like, I see nothing. Look at the word. Or just the color speak. But the earth code of this. Okay. If I recall in number 2, you don't have to go there, but I'm just bringing it forward as a tidbit of a little seed, grounding in a little bit of pepper, salt and pepper here. There was a lot about coding, or like seeing things from that perspective, if that was someone's jam, if that was their like language. Now I want to bring this into like the multidimensional angel, alien, call it what you will. It's not astral. For one reason or another, there's something about kind of like getting around or through the astral as quickly as possible. I don't know if there's something going on in the astral. Um, I don't know, but it's just, I'm just letting you know that's how I've been feeling. Anyway, so it's like you get your downloads, you receive your downloads, and you express them. These turtles are different. There's turtles in here. There's also something about principles. I'm seeing like whether it's principles in your ethics and morals and principles, and or like being in a school, the principal, vice principal, staff, teachers, and something along that lines, and having a personal code of ethics. There's a lot of accountability here, responsibility as well. But I will say it's like doing quality assurance, and I feel like you're really good at it's not about perfection. It's not about being a perfectionist or saying, oh, if it looks like this, no, this feels like I'm giving it my best. I'm doing my all. And if that is not enough in reflection or in respect to someone else or something, then that's okay too. But maybe you want to clarify no refunds, right? If it's a reflective experience, if it is if you are a journaler, or if you are someone who scribes a lot of your insights and you capture codes in there for yourself to utilize and you're sharing them, whatever the case is, I feel like you're careful enough to say, I'm being accountable and responsible. And therefore, the space between is you are accountable and responsible for stepping forward for this. The benefits, the aftershocks, the information, how it's received, how it's blah, 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 all the words. You're like, okay, everyone's aware of their accountability. That's very empowering. That's not a handing off or saying we're not going to share codes. This is actually respecting that. So when they do harmonize and you receive this teaching from an angel resonance, from a quantum field of sorts, wherever it is that you feel like it comes from, if you even need to worry about where it comes from. But I feel like there's enough responsibility here that you don't just listen to random information. And I'm talking about, oh my gosh, this is a crazy thing. Again, so much noise, and I'm really am doing my best. Yes, you know, in the online scape, I feel like that has brought to the surface the ability to spew, right? Whether it's miss, dis, true, not true, right? It's an expression showing that underlying, whether social media or not, there's always been the ability for communications and narratives, stories to be told, different opinions to be told. Just now it's out. Now it's out. Whether it's any platform, what always has been is now out on the surface. Blech. The accusing, the this, the that. It's always been there, potentially, in this moment. Just now we can see it. And it's like, oh, we have to deal with this or look at this. But most importantly here, if I can, in trying to, you must be very, very skilled at navigating realms of reality, dimensions of oneself, and the bigger pictures, because I really hope I'm like, yeah, because it's a little cray cray in here, but it's cool because it's like, you know what you're doing. I'm just moving through it. I'm moving through the sounds. Sorry, my seeds. The seed casings are still. I feel like I want to hold on to this rose quartz and just be like, yeah. You might even have like a stress ball or something that you utilize. or maybe it's an action that you utilize to kind of hone in and remember your quest, or the reason why you're doing what you're doing, why you're there, why you're not. Yes. Okay. Things are getting quieter now. You are super wise, and your spirit message seems to be like really I'm going to say it this way, appreciating the kind of the intensity of it, the immersion. Maybe you've moved through or moving through certain things quite quickly, and you might not feel or think that, but I feel like, whew, it's swift. So it's like taking a course that would normally be like a 5-year course, and it's smashed into 2 years. So it's go, 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 go. Yeah. Okay, Cave of Hearth Fires. You know, I'm so glad that this Inkblot has come up here, which is the Yeti or the stone if I was looking there. No, I want to keep it this way because this is so grounding for me as Steph. I honestly feel like I'm a visitor here. Like I am just I feel like I'm in the movie. Is it Ant-Man? Ant-Man and the Wasp? Or he's like the ant guy, but they fly into like the quantum field and they got to go get the mom or something like that. And the dimensions, the degrees open to opportunities. I see you down here, and maybe different technologies to go into like these different pressure systems. It's kind of crazy. And I'm not saying that to insult. Please know that. I'm just saying that as I like got plopped in here, and I'm just supposed to, but I purposely have stepped in here, go get your bearings. You've already got your bearings. So good on you. And if you haven't, hey, I'm here with you. It happens. It happens here. It happens here at your grounding point, at your hearth fire, when you return to a source of something, because I'm actually seeing the hearth fire as a fire, a place that like says, like looking at why you're creating something, why you're doing something, the power of that creation of alchemy, and like the basic of even alchemizing formulas. So if it feels a little excitable, beyond excitable, but here, it's like being a teacher and being taught. A teacher going to night school. You teach during the day, but you go to night school at night. You step into the collective in one capacity, maybe physically, and then you also step in online, uh, in a myriad of platforms, I'm sure, and navigate where maybe you're looking at too. Is there a problem I have a solution for? Is that maybe it's like a marketing thing? What is the collective needing at this time? What are they screaming for? What are they saying? What aren't they saying? And do you have something that can fill that? If that's the kind of math you're working in, right? Marketing as well. Maybe that's something that you're looking at, how that can be marketed. There are other ways if you feel like you're not a problem solver. I just want to know, because not everyone steps in to support and help or interact with the collective with a problem solution mindset. That might be the majority. Sure. And I think that we can all relate, but you might also be a part of some other kind of quest. It's like those few scientists that are looking at different landscapes and dimensions that on the surface, the few versus the many even have a concept about or want to have a concept about. And it's so not formed yet on the surface in conversation that it's just different, and it doesn't fall into problem solution. Ground. So thank you. Oh, gosh. So you're making your wish. You've made your wish for what you want. And I think that you've already, to be honest with you, I feel here now you're living your wish. Like it's happening for you. Teacher, student, student, teacher, day and night, however you're doing it, you are in your mind's mind, in your mind of the universe, in your universal mind, they are exchanging codes. And I think that you also exchange codes in that codes with the collective. And so, but imagine in all of this, the collective, your angel team, your alien team, etc. Maybe for some the astral, but it's not my realm. That I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. It doesn't feel as safe. Did the astral go ghetto? Not being rude, but you know what I mean. And I grew up in some very rough areas, so yeah, it's like it's gone rough. Anyway, it's not the point. Stay focused. See, this is it's like you are the internet. It's like this is the sound and the noise of the internet here. Is the best explanation I can say that it feels. So glad the Yeti's here. Now it's like interdimensional. Imagine if our internet was connected to another internet. Oh. Serenity now. Serenity now. I gotta tell you though, I'm having a hoot of a good time. I feel a little bit more ridiculous than I normally do, and I normally am not really concerned about that. But I think to some degree or another, a certain amount of comicalness or humor is needed, or else you would go insane. So I want to come back to in the Cave of Hearthfires with the Yeti and the stone, because it's like being a cornerstone of something, or a part of a foundation, a power structure, right? And so this feels like, while you might be teacher, student, day and night, collective, individual, then you have like this pocket of people that is invite only. Nobody really knows it exists. If you're part of the House of Scrying, you know, like we call our channel membership over there, the Secret Society, kind of in the same spirit of the Inner Circle, if you are a part of the Inner Circle here, that there are quieter conversations, trusted minds, where a poet, a mathematician, a composer, and an inventor get together for coffee once a month. And they are like best friends. They are in their own way cornerstones. And when you're in this company, the noise becomes sounds of music, of oh, I'm going to sound so douchey. Feels rich. It feels feels good. Feels elevated, not in a way to de-evaluate anything else, but it's almost like these four people with you, maybe as the fifth of this palm power high five of sorts, are each keystones, cornerstones, because it's like being a part of, say, let's go in this studying school or the internet, and it's like, okay, this one teaches math and science, this one is art and English, this one's mechanics and woodworking, and this one's home ec, this one is geography, and all those cornerstones come together. It's like being on a part of a council or teachers talking, and they need to be supported by that, and then as well from the principals and the vice principals as well, from those that are their focus while be to support that, but also in the structure, the building, the maintenance, not stuff the teachers, it's not their. I'm in a lounge, for heaven's sakes, I'm in a lounge, and now I feel like I can lounge back a little bit because of this richness Interesting. So in the Cave of Rivers, there's the Inkblot. The word is tortoise talks. These are brown dolphins, earthly dolphins. Like take dolphins, the symbolic. My face doesn't face. Symbolic meaning of or how you feel about dolphins, but give them earth energy. Tortoise was somewhere. You're right here. Thank you. Okay, so Cave of Winds, Cave of Rivers. Cave of Rivers, ironically, has a lot of the fire or sacral energy, and the Cave of Winds has a lot of that green and blue. And that's okay. We're like, yeah, see, and I feel like I saw you earlier. This little addition to this card, and it was from this point of view, it's a gift upside down. I'm like, there's something upside downy here, but I didn't touch on it. Well, I feel like I can be very frank here. Like this is just been a little cray-cray, a little shit show, and it's okay. Grounding stone, grounding stone, grounding stone. And so it's like these things should be swapped, but should they? Who am I to say? Upside down or upside right? So here we are. Emotional fire, fruit bats. Thank you. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, like there's just so much going on here. I feel like someone has taken what was already slow and steady, someone or something, and it feels, apply it however you may. I'm not going to try and figure out this reading. I'm just going to do my best. Has handcuffed those tortoises. Older knowledge than turtles, I don't know, but snapping turtles are coming in now. So there's all these different kinds of turtles and tortoises, but in this one case specifically, I feel like either at some point in time your hands were tied, or someone or something has been trying to tie your hands, and you've been almost like methodically, meticulously building something, and someone else might say, well, this is happening fast, like in a spark. It is not. This is something that has been building, doing, nourishing, working its way through dimensions and layers and lifetimes, the yada, yada, yada. But let's stay here and now. And it's like, oh, you see this in an instant, right? But it's been something that's 18 years in the making. That doesn't make it more or less valuable. It's just the extension of, even if it was instant. Like instant noodles. I feel like there's something here where two things are starting to talk again. Maybe it's your unconscious and your conscious, your subconscious and your superconscious. Something that had seemingly had your hands tied mentally in the multiverse to the emotions. Come on, baby, light my fire. Because it's this pathway of walking, this trunk of this tree that has been burnt, the burnt tree emotionally, and these fruit bats, if that means anything to you, but I am going to wander into the vampire part of the back because it stepped forward. It's like seeing them tapped into you emotionally, and it's just so damn depleting, and it comes back into a different kind of noise. Now it's a noise with, instead of maybe over here is like super vibrating and excitable and and over here now it feels like, oh, they're just like there's a slow tap in, like you don't notice, 1 cent, 1 cent, 1 cent, that it feels heavier and almost so slow, and I'm like, what? This is my happy point in this space. I will just tell you now. Part of me would really like to be able to like X-nay this reading because I'm like, I feel like it's absolute chaos. And I would not do that. I will tell you, I would think about it. But maybe that's also reflective of this. So many times you've thought, oh, shut it down. This is, no. But it also, if this is your experience and you're here and you're still here, you're like, yeah, that's how I feel tapping into the collective. That's how I feel emotionally when sometimes I'm allowing it to take too much, because the other side of this is boundaries. And that's us, babe. That's us. We gotta affirm the boundaries. Yes, and I see the biceps coming through here. Put your hair on, get your hair up, put your baseball hat on, and take care of business. And that sometimes means closing the door on access, being accessible under the guise of, well, it makes you a good person or this or that. Well, if you're depleted, no, you're of no good. I don't want to say of no use either, because that's rude, but you know what I mean? So fire up those boundaries like a muscle car. Fire them up. Yes. Man, I feel like I might carry around this Yeti Stones card in my pocket. Oh, it's just damn delicious. Woodpecker vultures. You know, and there's another strength here. Lots of muscles. When you find what I'm going to call it, like in this council or in this teacher's lounge, whatever whether they're parts of you and or parts of you expressed in other people, places, or things. It's very strong, strength building in many different areas, but man, does it feel different. Not just because it's more relaxed. The conversations might be super complex and challenging emotionally, mentally, but they're not combatual. They're conceptual. I don't think that they're conversations is having on the surface. On the surface, even though the underbelly of all of this this, that, is all on the surface, like I said, but it's always been there. Just now there's a space for people to feel strong there, to be heard, to not be heard, to be problem solvers, problem givers. I don't. But in this lounge that we're in right now, damn, I'm grateful for you. And I'm really glad that sometimes the most valuable, or in this case, what is valuable, is when there's intimacy and there is a heavy boundary. And maybe for some, that means you're taught, you're babysitting. It's like, hey, I'll babysit until 7, but then I have a commitment at 8, so you must be home by 7:30, like, as the example. In honoring those, also when they're given, right, by others, for us to respect, because amongst this lounge of people, maybe for some it's a paywall, and you're like, well, the value of this could be like $20, but yeah, but then you might get that might have its place. And then there might be other things where you're like, I'm going to sign up for this course that's $2,500 because I know there's going to be different kind of energies there, and that matters. So everything has value. All of the noise and the sounds and the wherever the heck I've been in all of this, you can see that, and the way different things are structured in the codes of all of it and the resonance and of how you relate to it. And it's really quite beautiful. And if I may, I'm like highly impressed. I do feel like I'm like calming down now. Whew, I'm a little worried. I don't want to go back over there again. So I'm going to stay over here. Because in the cave of earth, we're just going to keep going through the cave. Steph needs a little serenity. In the cave of earth, taking the art, of course, open to opportunities and tickle tickle. I'm not going to flip them unless they step forward. Maybe this one wants to. Because you are open. And maybe sometimes you and me, we can be, it's like having office hours that are too long. Or sometimes you got to wonder, like, why are the doctor's offices not open on Wednesdays? Or they close at like 1, but yet they are working. First of all, if one must answer to such an inquiry, but they're doing paperwork, they're following up on lab work, they're doing other things that need to be taken care of in order to be of servitude and the best for their patients. So sorry, not sorry that your doctor's not open 24 hours a day. However, there are other things that are open for you to go and get help. So as the example, so yes, being open and then saying, okay, well, we close at 5 or we close at 10. And I tend to work in a lot of ish just because that's me. But yeah, when you're done, you can be like, okay, closing time, shifting, transitioning. Maybe that's online time, physical time, visiting somebody. And you're like, okay, it's been 2 hours. Thank you. Classic introvert stuff. Has nothing to do with you. My energy is done. I gotta go. Oh, but stay longer. Yeah, I would love that. I would love to want that to have that too. But the energy says a no-go. Because then the version of me you're gonna get is gonna become lesser, 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 lesser. And your girl's gonna get meaner, meaner, meaner. But that's like my family and stuff. But it's like, you know that about yourself. But when you're in this lounge of people, it doesn't matter. It's like, that depletion doesn't happen. It's when it's time and someone, the mathematician or the science or the art teacher says, okay, I gotta go. You don't assume like anything weird about it. You're just like, respect. Okay, thank you. Awesome. It's been so good to see you. I look forward to next meeting or whatever the case is. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, get ready because there are going to be more opportunities for you to connect, and you're going to have to decide if that's good for you. I'm going to say, yeah, it's amazing. It's going to be an amazing opportunity. Be open to that, because while it may be open to this, it might actually close up a few things that while you've been enjoying are time for you to move on from as well. And it might just give you like that catalyst to be like, oh, okay. Or maybe you'll like just tie them up, close them up. You could also be heading up into an area that you weren't expected to be in. It's like, no, I've been driving towards this, towards this, towards this. I teach science, I teach science, I teach science, I teach science. And then one day you take a course or you're reading a book on something else and you're like, oh, now I'm in a greenhouse. You know what I mean? Growing plants. But just something or the chemistry of it lines up and whoop, opportunity. And you're like, okay. Again, I am very aware in this message. I am probably making the least amount of sense I've ever made sense in any of my abstract readings. But I want to know, whoever you are, you might work really, really fast. And Earth's codes, you work quantumly. And I'm working Earth style. And it can sometimes feel like an interference, but the Earth energies aren't in your way because it's for them, whoever them is, and are likewise for you. If someone else or some other area works quantumly where you feel you work earthly, plant life, animal life, mineral realm, however you relate to the alchemy of it. This is not a one size fits all, that one is quantum and everything is quantum. I'm sure that's a thing, but in this case, here it feels like maybe academically you're quantum and work with the earth teacher student. Maybe energetically you're earthly, slower. Maybe it's like your earth sign or your moon sign and the world is quantum and you're like, ooh, do you see what I'm saying? And now suddenly I feel like an octopus that has my tentacles out and I'm like, okay, because lo and behold, that octopus is also the Kraken. And you don't realize sometimes your size, your energy, your abilities to slap the water and cause waves. Okay, well, so be open. It feels like something that is currently working in nighttime, and I mean that is it's like it's not in the forefront yet. So you just get to keep doing what you're doing. However, you're helping the earth codes, and you might be like an angel or ancestors, that you're like an earth angel, and that's how that kind of comes down for you, and you're received in this earth angel feel. I love it. Some of you are really, if you're here, like interdimensional walkers and weavers. Some of you are fire walkers and weavers, and some of you are like the psychonaut feel, but you're grounded by shadow, and I love it because it like tickles the armpits of all that is. And nobody likes to be tickled too far, because then it goes enough. But I do want to say, okay, we'll add on a few cards and then boy, thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for always looking at your own self, your mirrors, and your reasonings. And I don't know, yeah, you are just the wisdom workers. Maybe somebody's also going for ice cream. You know, just having a sweet treat. The Knight of Cups is this future of romance. The Page of Wands. We'll get to you guys in just a second. Let me just, okay. That's too many. Do not be ridiculous. You have first fires. Rivers. Are you ready? On the bottom is Nine of Cups. And just as a reminder, what was on the bottom of our mirror deck was gift. Knight of Cups with angel resonance. Is this the future of romance? Somebody also might be making a wish for a partner to come through, or someone or something. It doesn't have to be a person that they love. If someone has felt barren in maybe in baby making, in love, romance, in finding a business partner, you know, apply it where it fits, or a good friend. Like, and I mean like a good friend, not a, you know, like, oh, I mean like someone that's like, you know, ride or die type thing. And it's helping you move through those things. Because likewise, you help them as well. Again, there's a help me, help you, help me, help you. But nobody's really concerned about the help. It just happens. Nobody's trying to fix anything. It just is. And the noise, the sound of the noise of the collective has stopped almost entirely. Oh, I know we're stepping back in a second. So I think it's really, okay. The Page of Wands with Earth codes in this crazy world of the collective. A new day dawns on the planet of the spirit. Okay. Lots of heart things over here in the mind, in the cave of winds. I feel like if you're here, like you really do care and love humanity, like just the human experience. And you're here to help. And I'm not saying that that's always like pleasant, where you're just like, oh, I love humanity. You're kind of strict. Good. Because otherwise, I know you think we'd be toppled. What is this movie I saw earlier as well? Is it called Dangerous Minds? I think it's Michelle Pfeiffer. Is she a teacher? Might be. You've accepted this quest. You've accepted it. And you know, when you meet a good, I keep saying good, but it's in reference of like personal. When you get a good teacher, like growing up, there are just some teachers that stand out, friends that stand out. You take courses, you go to a coffee shop and that one person, your barista, stands out. Like they're just, man, that's the good stuff. You're just like, yeah, that teacher, I don't know, something about that. And I feel like you're a part of that. The Four of Wands with the Yeti or the stone in there, a joyous celebration of homecoming. I don't, this lounge that we were at, anytime I stepped into this cave of hearth fires, I felt better. And I think it's really important that in a simple way, I'm going to say self-care. Getting all riled up, as fun as it was and as comical as it is, we can't stay there, because then it's like we get sucked into the collective wave. Yeah. And it's also that interdimensional space of being able to see beyond just the surface, and also what appears to be on the surface, and the deeper spaces in which, or the hidden spaces that where it's come from, right? Just as the example again, it's like social media is just revealing what always is. It has given us containers to spew and say and share and sing, be or not to be noisy, add to the noise, to not add to whatever the words are, whatever our reflection of that is, how we adopt it, how we decide to interact with it, naysay it. But those that are here have like worked through the layers to go, well, this has always been. It's here on the surface, and you cannot look, you cannot have it, but it still exists. It's still happening, right? In the cave, again, I feel like who the fuck am I? I'm like, I don't know, but you get the gist. And here in the Cave of Rivers is strength. What does it say down there? And it's kind of funny. Is that like a crazy baboon? First printing anywhere. These boundaries, babe, they're so important. So important. It's like somebody trying to. Here's an interesting way I just saw that. It's like the door of your accessibility. When you have your open hours or you're communicating and you're someone says, well, maybe you should be open longer, you should be here longer, more often. But reminding that there are life and things, and there's, somebody could be caretaker, homemaker, chores, things, growth. You get the gist. But it's so important that you have these boundaries. I'm seeing the fire, or no, sorry, Odin and Odin's tree, maybe something along that lines. In some sort of emotional consumption. I have no idea where I went there. This has been in the Cave of Earth. Your two Inkblot cards were Open to Opportunity and Tico. And then the two tarot cards to support is the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Wands. Thank you. It's almost like that Ace of Wands I'm seeing over here is the tickle stick. I think you've had a lot of opportunities. Yeah, there's that fire from up here. But it's the shape of this. I think that you've had a lot of opportunities that didn't go as planned, or relationships, people, places, or things. And I just want to acknowledge that. And maybe that's why there's a little bit of this boundary that's now turning into a block for me, because it's like, I'm not really open to these opportunities because I've been butt hurt, or, you know, I just, I do want to say in this moment, the feeling is, especially with the Ace of Wands and tickle tickle from Spirit, you're like, it's okay to love again, even if it's not because it's going to hurt again, and not because of this, that, or the other, but it's almost like your patterning is what is changing. And that's what makes all the difference in the world. You, the pattern maker. And so 9 of Cups closes out. It's when you decide to take an opportunity, it stands out. It stands out blatantly. And it'll be green light go, not red flag, red light, green light go. And however you get that sign, they're all over here as well, because I'm telling you, there's 4 others plus you for 5. This could be a spirit team. This could be a council. This could be a team, whatever the case is. There's 4 plus 1 of you, 5. And equally, each of you are seeing that sign, that symbol in your own regard, in your own respect. And so whatever this lounge is, whatever this leaning in together is, because each of you lead your own way, but are still open to explore and do the things, there's no time for these, lesser learnings, for things to be triggered to say, okay, well, you know, that it's just not here. I can't even try and get it to be there. I can see it when I was over here. It just doesn't exist here. It's like if you're on, say you're on a seat of this council, and you'd be triggered by other council person because, or they're the lead of their, that is ridiculous. So it doesn't exist here. Of course, it has the potential and opportunity, but I feel like if that is a constant, then you're removed from that. Work through it and return. Because this is higher minds. And being held to a bar that takes a certain amount of strength. I get that. But you've already built the strength. I have no idea. So you're a gift. The sound of silence, I want to say, and kind of going back to number 1. Oh, this has been wild. I honestly, if I have been able to be a guest in what this no, that's not the right word, this council, this people, this group, your spirit team, you yourself, you are the 1, the 4, your guides, your spirits, whoever they are. And what if I have got just a snippet of what you have been through, culminated, worked through, open to, closed off to, made boundaries, bound, how you connect, how you give, how you receive from all the realms that be. When you know when to go, you know when to stop. It's been an honor. That's what I'm going to say. It's been an honor. And I feel like almost if I can step out again and looking at a whole life of review, and it's like, whew, that lifetime, there was moments, it was questionable. Could she stay on track? I don't know. Can she find the storyline? This whole lifetime, remember in the 20s, or that when one was 18 or 42, and you have this really beautiful ability to see that from this space and go, okay, and we're going to go back down into the chaos, into the confusion, into the noise. And there's nothing to fix. Oh. Okay. I love you. I will see you next week. Thank you to the Inner Circle. You can check out the last community post because I throw it there if you guys want to plot forward any inspirations for topics or subjects coming up. You can check out House of Scrying in between, and the link is in the description box, or you can head to thehouseofscrying.com if you're interested in any of these decks, because they're all made by yours truly. Well, the first 3 are, that you get the gist. Oh my god. Da, da, da.